September 12, 2002 will go down in history as a red-letter day for believers, the day when court upheld their right to seek judicial review of historic religious wrongs. The plea to seek daily prayers at Ma Shringar Gauri shrine within the Gyanvapi complex has been admitted. What it basically means is that the court has agreed that the Places of Worship Act does not apply to this suit, paving way for the plea to be heard further. As soon as the news broke, celebrations started outside court and across the country. Believers chanted Har Har Mahadev.
आज हम सभी हिंदू भाई और पूरे सनातन धर्म को अपने हाथ जोड़ के अपने हिंदू भाई से कहना चाहते हैं कि आज बहुत बड़ी खुशी का दिन है। आज हम चाहते हैं कि सभी लोग अपने छत पे घी का दीपक, शंख, नगाड़े बजाए और हर हर महादेव का नारा लगाए। सारे भक्तगणों से कहते हैं हर हर महादेव।
और आगे अब क्या रहेगा रणनीति?
अभी तो झांकी है, दर्शन अभी बाकी है।
तो जो फैसला आया है वो हिंदू धर्म के पक्ष में आया है और ये बहुत ही अच्छी शुभकामनाएं हमारे सबकी कि हमारे हिंदू धर्म के पक्ष में ये फैसला है और हम अब वहाँ पर शिव जी और पार्वती माता की पूजा कर पाएंगे और शिवलिंग की ऊपर जल चढ़ा सकेंगे। सब
बहुत खुश है जी हमारे हिंदू धर्म के लिए, खासकर हमारे जिन्होंने हमारा ये सारा सृष्टि रची है भगवान ने, शिव जी ने। आज उनके जहाँ जिस चीज़ का किसी को पता ही नहीं था, आज वो भी सब कुछ सामने उठ के आया है। तो और आज ऊपर से वहाँ पे सब कुछ मतलब हम लोगों के पक्ष में जो न्याय हुआ है और हमारे पार्वती माता का श्रृंगार होएगा वहाँ पे, इससे बड़ी खुशी की कोई बात ही नहीं हो सकती है।
सर बहुत खुशी है हमें कि ये फैसला हमारे हक में आया है, हिंदुओं के धर्म में आया है और बहुत अच्छी बात है और बहुत खुशी है हमें।
इस प्राचीन मंदिर में हम देख रहे हैं आप शिव दर्शन के लिए आए थे, आप जाएंगे कभी वहाँ पर भी मौका लगा तो?
जी बिल्कुल जाएंगे जी, भोले शंकर ने बुलाया तो जरूर जाएंगे। हर हर महादेव।
Now, arguments which were made by the Anjuman Intizamiya Committee or the mosque side against the petition being heard included the fact that the property is a waqf property and the court cannot adjudicate on it. They are now planning to move the High Court.
कोर्ट ने मुस्लिम पक्ष को अपना जवाब दाखिल करने के लिए कहा है और 22/9 में इसकी अगली तारीख लगाई गई है। इस जजमेंट के बहुत बड़े मायने हैं क्योंकि जो हमारी कमीशन की रिपोर्ट है अब वो पढ़ी जाएगी, उसके खिलाफ उनको ऑब्जेक्शन देना पड़ेगा और जो कमीशन की रिपोर्ट में शिवलिंग बरामद हुआ है अब उसमें आगे बात होगी। ये सारी महिला याचिकाकर्ताओं के लिए बहुत बड़ी जीत है।
हम लोग आगे इसकी अपील करेंगे क्योंकि ये ऑर्डर हमारे लीगल हिसाब से भी सही नहीं है। हाई कोर्ट करेंगे, हाई कोर्ट जाएंगे। तो अब ये जो 22 होगी उसके पहले हम जेल में हाई कोर्ट जाएंगे और सुनवाई शुरू होती है। तो उसमें अगला यहाँ पर क्या स्टेप होंगे? यहाँ पर कोई वहाँ हाई कोर्ट में जो होगा हाई कोर्ट से ऑर्डर होगा, वहाँ के ऑर्डर होने के बाद यहाँ कोई होगा, देखा जाएगा।
Now, this verdict has paved the path for the Gyanvapi survey to be put up for scrutiny in court. But the implication of today's verdict go beyond Varanasi, with immediate impact to be felt on the Mathura Krishna Janmabhoomi Eidgah case as well. The ruling is being seen as a big fillip to the Hindu side's contention when it comes to staking claim to their places of worship or at least challenging it in court. But unfortunately, even now, there seem to be attempts by some to try and use today's judgment in order to incite and provoke.
आज के ऑर्डर के बाद ऐसा लगता है कि फिर अब ये लिटिगेशन शुरू हो जाएगा इन तमाम इश्यूज के ऊपर और हम दोबारा 80 और 90 के दहे में वापस जा रहे हैं। फिर तो ये हर जगह पर एक डिस्टेबलाइजिंग इफेक्ट पैदा हो जाएगा। तो ये हम तो उम्मीद कर रहे थे कि कोर्ट इस तरह के इश्यूज को, जैसे अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं कि दे विल निप इट इन इट्स बट, मगर अब लगता है कि इस तरह का लिटिगेशन अगर आगे बढ़ेगा तो फिर ये उसी रास्ते पर जा रहा है जो बाबरी मस्जिद का लीगल इशू गया था।
न्यायालय ने इस सुनवाई को सुनने योग्य मानना है, इसका मैं स्वागत करता हूं और बाकी न्यायिक प्रक्रिया जैसे चलनी है वैसे चलती रहेगी। लेकिन सभी पक्षों से मैं यह जरूर अपील करूंगा कि इस फैसले का मैं भी स्वागत करता हूं, सब लोग स्वागत करें और किसी भी प्रकार से इस विषय को लेकर के कोई विवाद उत्पन्न करने का काम ना करें। यह एक बहुत साफ सुथरी न्यायिक प्रक्रिया के अंतर्गत जो न्यायालय के सामने विषय रखे गए हैं उसके आधार पर सुनवाई हुई है, और सुनवाई के बाद यह सुनने योग्य है कि नहीं है इस विषय को लेकर के फैसला आया, और फैसला आने के बाद सभी लोग इसका स्वागत कर रहे हैं, मैं भी स्वागत करता हूं।
All right, first up, let's go across to Mr. Alok Kumar, who's the president of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. Today, there are many people who are wondering if we are going to go back to the decade of the 80s and 90s when the Ram Janmabhoomi movement and the kind of unrest in the country that followed is going to grip India again. What would you say to these apprehensions?
I would say that these apprehensions have no basis. What is happening now is happening in a courtroom. Both parties placed their point on the maintainability of the suit. The court heard arguments and decided that this suit is not hit by the Places of Worship Act. Now, this is something that has not happened on the streets. It has happened inside a courtroom after a detailed hearing. And I believe that this is the proper method of resolving our disputes. I do not see any possibility of going back to the 80s by this judgment or the further proceedings in the court.
आज उमा भारती जी ने बोला कि आप हमें अयोध्या, काशी, मथुरा दे दीजिए, बाकी मस्जिदें सुरक्षित रहेंगी. But who's to guarantee that? Tomorrow everything will be up for litigation. From Karnataka to Kerala to Kashmir, everything will be up for litigation, won't it?
I would not comment on Umaji's statement, but at one time it was suggested by the Hindu side that if the Muslims, Hindus and Muslims can amicably resolve these three places, then all of us would make effort to stop at it. But then that did not happen. Therefore, I would not comment on Umaji's statement.
No, but don't you think this will open up the ground for there being litigation all over the country? Tomorrow right now there are people who are saying in Karnataka that where there is an Eidgah Maidan, there was a temple. There is a Tipu Masjid, it is being disputed as a temple. In West Bengal, in Assam, in Gujarat, in Rajasthan, everywhere people will say this mosque is a temple. Where does it stop?
And number one, we should have our confidence in the process of the courts. So therefore, if there are any responsible claims, they would not be entertained. Secondly, the fact situation in Mathura and Kashi is entirely different. In Kashi, particularly after the survey and the finding of a shivling there has changed the scenario. There cannot be a shivling in a mosque. Conversely, where there is a shivling, that portion cannot be a mosque. So therefore, the fact situation is different. The shivling was there in 1947 also. And then there was some litigation concluded in 1942 where the Muslim claim of this being a Waqf property was negatived by the High Court. So the fact situation in Varanasi is quite different from the places that you mentioned.
Okay, Alok Kumar ji, please just stay with me for a second because we have Maulana Khalid Rashid Firangi Mehli of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board also. Since you gave a reassurance, Khalid Rashid Firangi Mehli साहब, यहाँ पर विश्व हिंदू परिषद के आलोक कुमार जी हमारे साथ हैं, वो कह रहे हैं ये एक स्पिरिचुअल इशू है, कोर्ट से डिसाइड हुआ है, किसी को डरने की बात नहीं है, किसी को परेशान होने की बात नहीं है, फैसला कोर्ट में गया, कोर्ट से आया है, कोर्ट में होना चाहिए. आपने शायद अपनी आवाज को म्यूट कर रखा है, फिरंगी महली साहब.
See, after the judgment in the Ayodhya case, we were of the belief that now all such controversies will be kept to rest. But one after another, such controversies are being raised in the last, you can say, 1 year. Tens of cases are being again filed in various courts, and we don't know as to when all this will stop. Whenever we go on a tour to any foreign country, people ask us that what you people are doing in India, you are always fighting on Mandir and Masjid issue. So we feel very much ashamed. And the best way out is that already the Honorable Supreme Court in the final judgment of the Ayodhya case have reiterated that the Worship Act, Places of Worship Act 1991 will be enforced throughout the country. So after the judgment of the Apex Court, I don't know how it can be said that again such cases are being filed in various courts.
So before I come to the Places of Worship Act, you said something very interesting. You said, sir, you are ashamed. Why are you ashamed? This has come from the legal system. It's not like somebody went and did kabza on a piece of land. They just went to court and they said, sir, hamari appeal sun lijiye. And the court decided their appeal should be heard because it's maintainable. Why are you ashamed of that?
See, I am not ashamed on the verdict or any verdict of the courts. I am saying that I am ashamed because we continuously are fighting one case after another on various religious issues and various places of worship. The one way out is, and to solve all these problems, is that we all must, the responsible person must sit together, and one for all should solve all these problems through negotiation and through talks, instead of taking all such issues to court and fight these cases for such a long period.
Mr. Alok Kumar, when you go abroad, Firangi Mehli Sahab says that people say you're only doing Hindu, Muslim, Mandir, Masjid, you're fighting. Why can't we look beyond this?
There is no question of not looking beyond it. In the field of electronics, in the field of aviation, in many other fields, India is at the top once again. We are progressing all around, but that does not mean that these issues can be given a go by. I am happy that he said that we should talk about it. We have never shied away from talking about it. But I saw an interview of Mr. Madani, the General Secretary of Jamaat-e-Islami Hind. He said that there are only two ways of solving the Kashi problem. One is the dialogue, which is not happening. The other is the court. And he said it in public that both the communities should accept the final verdict of the court. All of us who believe in the Constitution, who believe in the legal system, should have an inherent confidence in the process of the court, and whatever the court ultimately decides should be acceptable to both of us.
Mrs. Khalid Firangi Mehli, why should anyone give up their right? They have a faith, they want to go to courts, they don't want to give up their right over their temple, but through the legal route. Why do you want people to give up their right?
No, we are not saying that any citizen of India should give up his or her right. And similarly, we are equally the citizen of India and citizen of this country. We are also not ready to give our rights. But the bigger question is that for how many years all this will continue, and for how many years we will continue to fight these cases on related to Masjid and Mandir issue. When will we come and stop all such controversies? Whatever has been done 100 years ago, how can it be solved in this era? So what I am trying to say is...
So you're saying that places of worship are not important. Now people should just look beyond places of worship. They should give up their claim. They shouldn't even fight legally for it. It's not important. It's irrelevant to people now.
No, if people want to fight, then you can fight throughout your life. People are already fighting all these cases in various courts. The legal system is there for you. But whether it is healthier for the society to continue to fight all these cases and to continue all these controversies, if the majority of the people think that okay, we are all very comfortable in fighting and continue to raise these such controversies and to continue to fight all these cases, then okay, go forward.
So let me ask you then a hypothetical question, sir. If you're saying that fighting such cases is pointless in the 21st century, why is the All India Muslim Personal Law Board continuing to fight? You should say, all right, fine. Vishwa Hindu Parishad wants to go to court and carry on these cases. We think that these fights are pointless. Why did you also go to court? In fact, you even wanted to contest the Babri judgment. Why did you not say at that time that in the 21st century, we don't want to do all of these legal fights? This is pointless. It is worthless for us.
First of all, Personal Law Board is not a party in this case. And the
Sir, I'm saying Babri case, not this case, the Babri case.
The Babri case was being fought from last many years, and we were on not only one party in this case. There were many such, and tens of parties were fighting this case. So why you are only asking us that why we fought this case?
No, sir, I'm asking because you said right now that for how long will we keep fighting? These fights are now pointless. So in 2019, why did the All India Muslim Personal Law Board say we are going to seek a review? In 2019 also you could have said these are pointless fights. How are they relevant in the 21st century? We don't want to fight anymore.
It was a very big case. It was a very big judgment, and we have the option to go into the review. So we went into the review. But what I am asking
so do the 5 women petitioners. They also have the option of going to the district court of Varanasi and saying, we want our right to pray. Similarly, in Delhi, you had some people saying, we want a survey of Qutub Minar or we want a survey of Taj Mahal. But the Taj Mahal case did not stand legal scrutiny, and they said, no, we don't want to allow you the survey of Taj Mahal. So similarly, everyone goes to court. Some stand legal scrutiny, some don't stand legal scrutiny. Just like All India Muslim Personal Law Board had the right to contest the Babri Masjid verdict, so do the Hindu people. All right, let me just quickly bring in Mr. Alok Kumar as well. There is this answer, Mr. Firangi Mehli, when he is saying, how long will you keep fighting, Mr. Alok Kumar? How long?
I mean, his answer helps me. We are not a party to the Varanasi case. It is not a question of silence. There are 3 temples, the Mathura, the Kashi, the Ayodhya. They have become the symbols. The cases are going on. And as far as how long is concerned, even after the unanimous judgment in the Babri case, they went on to file a review, and then they talked about a curative petition. So therefore, these issues are countless. If some people wish to fight it out in the court, that is perfectly legitimate and lawful.
So there are some voices now, Khalid Rashid Firangi Mehli Sahab, like Uma Bharti. She spoke today. She said कि आप काशी, मथुरा और अयोध्या हमें दे दीजिए because these have cultural significance for Hindus. You assure us that Kashi, Mathura, Ayodhya is ours, that is Janmabhoomi. We will make sure that it ends here. There is no Pandora's box. Do you think that dialogue is possible? That it ends with Kashi, Mathura, Banaras. Kashi, Mathura and Ayodhya, sorry.
First it was being said that you give the Babri Masjid, then no other issue will be raised. And what have been done and what is being done is before the nation. So you say that you leave such and such places, then no issue will be raised. I don't think that there is any point in now believing on all such statements.
I may be wrong, but let me ask Mr. Alok Kumar, was there an assurance कि अयोध्या मिलेगा तो काशी मथुरा पर से हक छोड़ देंगे? Or was it always?
Number one, there was never such a suggestion. And number 2, Advaniji had at one time proposed that if the Muslims willingly hand over the 3 places, Kashi, Mathura and Ayodhya, then he will persuade the Hindu society to give up its right on all the rest of it. That offer was never accepted. Ayodhya was not given to us by a consensus or by a dialogue. We won it through the court. So there was never such an offer. And I would have to leave now.
All right, Mr. Alok Kumar, thank you very much. Would you like to respond to this, Mr. Khalid Rashid Firangi Mehli? There was never such offer even during the Janmabhoomi movement. There was an offer saying if you are willing to talk to us about the Ram Janmabhoomi, maybe we can talk later, there can be a dialogue. But that was rejected at that time, and now it has come to this.
You all know from the time of Mr. Chandrasekhar, there were a number of rounds of talks between all the concerned parties. and why a final decision was not being able to reach. Everybody knows what was the main reason behind all this. So to raise such issues now, I think is pointless. What I want to say is that if people at the local level sit together and sort this case out, then it will be a better option rather than prolonging such controversial issues for a very long period.
The idea was just to bring you both sides, reason out what has happened today and what it holds for us in the years to come. Thank you very much, Mr. Alok Kumar. Khalid Rashid Firangi Mehli Sahab, taking a very quick break, and on the big story coming up on the other side.
मुस्लिम पक्ष की एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट कर दी है।
हिंदू समाज के लिए ज्ञानवापी मंदिर के लिए यह शिलान्यास का बीजारोपण का दिन है।
दरखास्त जो इंतजामिया कमेटी की खारिज हुई है उसके खिलाफ इंतजामिया जाएगी हाई कोर्ट में।